The gap between knowing and doing is where most dreams disappear. It's not that people don't know what to do. Most of us already know. We know we should take care of our health, save money, build skills, strengthen relationships, and stay disciplined. Knowing is rarely the problem. The challenge is moving from knowledge to action, from intention to execution. Dreams don't die because of ignorance. They die because of hesitation, procrastination, and fear. The truth is, life rewards execution. You don't get paid for what you know. You get paid for what you do with what you know. The world is full of people with great ideas, brilliant strategies, and plans that could change their lives. But plans without action are only wishes, and wishes don't build futures. Discipline is the bridge between knowing and doing. If you can cross that bridge, you'll enter a world where results happen. But if you stand on the shore of knowing, waiting for motivation to push you forward, you'll stay stuck while time quietly steals your opportunities. Every dream has a price. The price is not knowledge, it's effort, sacrifice, consistency, and persistence. It's not enough to learn about success, you must live it daily. Success doesn't visit those who read about it. It visits those who practice it, one habit at a time, one step at a time. The truth is, the smallest act is greater than the grandest intention. Reading about fitness doesn't make you strong, lifting the weight does. Studying wealth doesn't make you rich, investing, working, and saving does. Talking about dreams doesn't make them real, working them out in silence does. Don't let your dreams disappear in that dangerous gap. Decide today that you will act on what you know. Knowledge is the seed, but action is the water and the sunlight. Without action, the seed stays buried. With action, it grows into the tree that holds the fruit of your dreams. The gap is real, but so is your power to cross it. And when you do, you'll discover that the dream was never the hard part, the doing was. Knowing what to do is not enough. Only doing turns ideas into results. It's one of the simplest truths in life, yet one of the hardest for people to embrace. Think about it. Knowledge by itself doesn't change anything. You can read every book on health, memorize every diet, learn every workout, and still be out of shape. You can study finance, understand investing, learn the power of saving, and still be broke. You can listen to speeches, attend seminars, fill notebooks with wisdom, and still live the same year over and over. Why? Because knowledge without action is nothing more than potential. Potential is valuable, but it doesn't pay bills, it doesn't build character, and it doesn't bring success. Only action does. It's easy to collect information. It's comfortable to sit back and tell yourself you're preparing. It feels good to highlight pages, take notes, and imagine how your life could change. But none of that counts until you act. The world doesn't reward you for what you know. It rewards you for what you apply. People who get ahead are not necessarily the smartest. They are the ones who take what they know and put it into practice. They may not have all the answers, but they start with what they have, and in the process of doing, they learn more than they ever could from sitting still. Ideas are everywhere. They flow freely, and they come to anyone willing to think. But ideas are not achievements. Ideas are not results. An idea is like a seed. You can hold it in your hand, admire it, study it, and even talk about its potential. But unless you plant it, water it, and nurture it, it remains nothing more than a possibility. Too many people spend their lives carrying seeds that never grow. They keep talking about what they'll do one day, what they'll start next month, what they'll achieve when the time is right. But time doesn't wait for them. Dreams wither in the delay. The difference between people who succeed and those who don't is rarely knowledge. Most people know what they need to do. The difference is action. Some act even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's not perfect. Others wait for the perfect plan, the perfect timing, the perfect confidence. And in the waiting, they lose momentum and opportunity. Life rewards those who dare to act before everything feels certain. There is a law at work in the universe: motion creates progress. When you act even in small ways, things begin to shift. Doors open. Resources appear. You meet people you wouldn't have met by staying still. Doing creates momentum, and momentum makes the next step easier. But inaction creates stagnation. The longer you wait, the heavier the burden becomes until your dream feels impossible. It's not enough to know how to be disciplined. You must practice discipline. It's not enough to know the value of persistence. You must persist. It's not enough to know the importance of consistency. You must show up every day. Success is built on doing the things you already know you should be doing, not waiting for new information or inspiration. Action is the great equalizer. You don't have to know everything, you just have to do something. Think of the difference between someone who reads about planting a garden and someone who actually plants one. The reader may know all the techniques, the best soil types, the right watering schedules. But if they never plant a seed, they will never taste a single harvest. Meanwhile, the person with less knowledge but more courage to start will be eating from their garden while the other one is still thinking about it. That's life. Doing is what separates the dreamers from the achievers. So ask yourself today, what do I know that I'm not doing? Where have I been holding on to information but refusing to act? Maybe you already know you need to exercise, but you're waiting until Monday. Maybe you know you should save money, but you keep saying, I'll start when I earn more. Maybe you know you need to have that conversation, start that business, write that book, but you're waiting for the right mood. Stop waiting, start doing. The smallest step forward is worth more than the greatest intention left undone. Action multiplies results. Knowledge multiplies only when it is applied. If you want to see change, you must cross the gap between knowing and doing. That's where life is transformed. That's where ideas become reality. That's where success is built. Not in the library of your mind, but in the labor of your hands. Only doing turns ideas into results. Everything else is just talk. Most dreams vanish in the space between intention and execution. It's not because people don't want their dreams. It's not because they don't have talent or desire. Most of the time, they simply never cross that invisible line between planning and doing. They think about it, talk about it, even imagine it so clearly they can almost touch it. But when it comes to taking action, hesitation creeps in. That hesitation is deadly. It's like standing on the edge of a diving board, staring at the water, convincing yourself you'll jump in just a minute. Before long, the moment is gone, the chance has passed, and all you're left with is the memory of what you could have done. Intention is a beautiful thing. It speaks of vision, purpose, and desire. It means you've identified what you want and where you'd like to go. But intention is only the beginning. Execution is what builds the bridge from where you are to where you want to be. Without execution, intention becomes nothing more than a daydream. And daydreams, no matter how sweet, won't build your future. Think about how many times people set resolutions. They say, this year I'll get in shape. This year I'll start saving. This year I'll begin that business. They write it down, they even feel inspired for a while. But then life gets busy, distractions show up, and the execution never happens. The dream begins to fade, not because it was impossible, but because it was never acted upon. The graveyard is full of unfulfilled dreams, not because they were unreachable, but because someone never moved past intention. Execution is hard. That's why so many stop before they start. Execution requires sacrifice, discipline, and consistency. It asks you to show up when you don't feel like it, to work while others are resting, to commit when others are distracted. Intention costs nothing. You can sit in your chair and intend to do 1,000 things. Execution, on the other hand, demands energy, time, and persistence. That's why it's rare, and that's why it produces results. The difference between those who live their dreams and those who lose them is rarely in their intentions. Almost everyone intends to live better, to achieve more, to grow and succeed. The difference is in the doing. The achievers act while others postpone. They don't wait for the perfect time because they know the perfect time never comes. They don't wait to feel ready because they know readiness comes after you begin, not before. They move forward in faith, trusting that clarity will come through motion. Most people underestimate how small the first step can be. They think they need a perfect plan, the right tools, or more resources before they can start. But the truth is, the dream doesn't disappear because you lack knowledge. It disappears because you lack action. Start small. Start with what you have. Start with where you are. The moment you do, you shift from intention into execution, and momentum begins to build. You don't need to leap the entire staircase in one bound. You just need to climb the first step. Execution is often less glamorous than intention. Talking about your dream feels exciting. Doing the daily work feels ordinary. But it is in those ordinary actions that extraordinary results are born. A writer who writes a page a day will finish a book while another is still saying, someday I'll write. A person who saves a little every month will build wealth while another is still planning their perfect strategy. Execution beats intention every time. If you want your dreams to survive, you must close that dangerous gap. Don't let your ideas stay trapped in notebooks or in conversations with friends. Don't let your goals sit on the shelf while time moves past you. Take them off the shelf, bring them to life, and execute. It won't be easy, but neither is regret. And regret costs far more than effort. Remember this, the world doesn't remember what you intended to do. It only remembers what you actually did. The dreams that make history are the ones that left the space of intention and entered the reality of execution. Most dreams vanish in that space because people wait, hesitate, and postpone. But your dream doesn't have to vanish. You can choose today to act, to move, to execute. And once you do, you'll discover that the hardest part wasn't the work. It was the waiting. The moment you begin, your dream begins to live. Life doesn't reward knowledge. It rewards applied knowledge. You can spend years learning, studying, and filling your mind with information, but until you use what you know, life won't hand you the rewards you're seeking. Knowledge, on its own, is like having a toolbox full of the finest tools, yet never building anything with them. It may give you a sense of security, but it produces no results. The marketplace, the world's success, they don't care about what you know. They care about what you do with what you know. There are people who know more about fitness than professional athletes, yet they are out of shape. There are people who can explain investing better than bankers, yet they live paycheck to paycheck. There are people who have read every book on leadership, yet they can't lead themselves through a single day of discipline. Why? Because knowledge is potential power, but power unused is power wasted. Applied knowledge is where the transformation happens. Life rewards the one who takes the idea and turns it into action. Reading about exercise is good, but lifting the weights is better. Learning about wealth is valuable, but saving and investing are what change your financial destiny. Understanding how to communicate is helpful, but actually having the hard conversation is what restores the relationship. Applied knowledge is where you put skin in the game, where you cross from theory into reality. That's where rewards are found. Many people confuse learning with progress. They think because they've read another book, listened to another lecture, or attended another seminar, they are moving forward. But learning alone is not progress, it's preparation. Preparation only matters if it leads to application. If you sit in the classroom of life but never take the test, your lessons remain unproven. The real examination happens when you apply what you know under pressure in real situations with real risks. That's why so many never move beyond average. They keep feeding on knowledge but never test themselves in the arena. It's safer to keep learning than to start doing. Doing involves failure, and failure stings. But here's the paradox. The one who applies knowledge, even clumsily, learns more than the one who hoards information. Mistakes made in action teach lessons that books can't. Success doesn't require you to know everything. It requires you to act on what you already know. Think of it this way. If you know how to plant a tree but never put a seed in the ground, will you ever taste the fruit? You could study soil, water cycles, and sunlight, but until you dig a hole and bury the seed, you'll have nothing but theories. Applied knowledge is planting the seed. It's the first step toward harvest. And once you begin, life rewards your action with growth, with learning through experience, and eventually with results. Applied knowledge also carries responsibility. Once you know something, the challenge is to do something with it. If you know that discipline creates freedom, then practice discipline. If you know that consistency builds habits, then be consistent. If you know that honesty earns trust, then live honestly. Don't hide behind excuses like, I'll start when I know more. Often, you already know enough. The missing link is not information, it's application. Rewards come to those who act. Promotions go to the person who takes initiative, not the one who merely knows the policy manual. Opportunities flow to the one who takes risks, not the one who studies risks. Respect is given to those who demonstrate their knowledge through action, not to those who merely speak of what they know. Life pays for performance, not potential. So here's the challenge. Stop measuring yourself only by how much you know and start measuring yourself by how much you apply. Did you act on what you learned yesterday? Did you test the principle you studied last week? Did you live out the wisdom you claim to believe? If not, then knowledge remains dormant inside you, waiting to be awakened by action. Life doesn't reward knowledge, it rewards applied knowledge. And the good news is, you don't need to know everything to start. You just need to start with what you know right now. Take one principle, one idea, one lesson, and put it into practice. Test it, refine it, and grow with it. In time, you'll realize that knowledge applied multiplies. One action produces results, results produce experience, and experience produces wisdom. Knowledge by itself can make you proud. Applied knowledge can make you successful. Choose action and watch your rewards grow. Discipline is the bridge that carries you from learning to achievement. You can read, study, and gather wisdom all your life, but without discipline, that knowledge will remain trapped inside of you, never producing the life you dream about. Discipline is the difference between intentions and accomplishments, between setting goals and actually reaching them. It's not talent, luck, or even knowledge that makes the greatest difference. It's discipline. Think about how many people know what they need to do. They know they should wake up earlier, exercise, save money, study, work harder, spend more time with family, or avoid unhealthy habits. They know it. But knowing doesn't bring results. What turns that knowledge into achievement is the discipline to act on it consistently, even when it's inconvenient or uncomfortable. Discipline is like the engine that makes the vehicle of success move. Without it, you can sit in a car full of fuel, with a map in your hand and a destination in mind, but you'll never go anywhere. Learning gives you the direction. Discipline takes you down the road. It's the bridge you must cross if you want to move from where you are to where you want to be. The truth is, discipline is not easy. It asks you to do things when you don't feel like doing them. It requires saying no to temptations, distractions, and short-term pleasures so that you can say yes to long-term rewards. That's why so few truly practice it. It's far easier to choose comfort than commitment, but comfort never built greatness. The ones who achieve are the ones who are willing to be uncomfortable long enough to let discipline work its magic. Every achievement, no matter how big, is built on small acts of discipline repeated over time. A musician doesn't become great by wishing for talent. They practice daily, often for years. A writer doesn't create a masterpiece by waiting for inspiration. They write consistently whether they feel like it or not. An athlete doesn't win championships by dreaming about trophies. They train, sacrifice, and show up day after day. The bridge of discipline is made up of daily steps, and each step brings you closer to achievement. Discipline also builds character. It teaches you to control yourself, to manage your time, and to respect your commitments. When you discipline yourself to do the things you know you should, you develop a kind of inner strength that no one can take from you. That strength becomes the foundation on which every success is built. Without it, success crumbles as soon as challenges come. The beauty of discipline is that it multiplies. One area of discipline spills into another. If you discipline yourself in health, it gives you energy for work. If you discipline yourself in finances, it gives you freedom in life. If you discipline yourself in learning, it gives you wisdom for decisions. Each act of discipline strengthens the bridge, making it easier to carry you to greater and greater achievements. But here's the challenge: the bridge must be walked daily. Discipline is not something you do once and forget. It's a habit, a practice, a lifestyle. It's showing up every day, whether you feel like it or not, and doing the work anyway. That's what separates the dreamers from the achievers. Everyone dreams. Few are disciplined enough to achieve. Some people wait for motivation before they act, but discipline doesn't depend on feelings. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. Discipline is steady. It says, I will do what needs to be done, no matter how I feel. And in the long run, discipline creates motivation, because nothing motivates you more than seeing progress. So if you've been learning, studying, planning, and preparing, ask yourself, have I built the bridge of discipline? Am I applying what I know every single day? Am I moving forward with consistency, or am I still standing on the side of knowledge, staring across at achievement? The distance between the two is not measured in miles, it's measured in discipline. The truth is, discipline is a form of freedom. It may feel restrictive at first, but it frees you from regret, from failure, from missed opportunities. It frees you to live the life you desire, to achieve the dreams you've imagined, to experience the rewards of your effort. Without discipline, knowledge remains a dream. With discipline, knowledge becomes achievement. Discipline is the bridge. Build it, walk it, and stay on it. On the other side, you'll find the life you've been reaching for. Hesitation, fear, and procrastination are the thieves of destiny. They don't steal your dreams all at once. They take them slowly, moment by moment, until one day you wake up and realize the opportunity is gone. Every person is born with the seed of potential, but not everyone lives to see it grow. The reason is simple: they hesitate, they fear, they procrastinate. And those three habits, if left unchecked, rob a life of its purpose and promise. Hesitation is the pause that costs you momentum. You know what you need to do, you even feel the urge to act, but you stop to think and then think some more. Soon the window of opportunity closes. Success often belongs to those who move quickly, not recklessly, but with confidence. Life rewards decisiveness. The person who hesitates at the edge of the stage rarely gives the speech. The one who hesitates to make the call rarely closes the deal. The one who hesitates to seize the moment often ends up watching someone else take it. Hesitation may feel safe, but it's really a thief disguised as caution. Fear is its close companion. Fear whispers in your ear that you might fail, that you're not good enough, that others will laugh, that the risk is too great. Fear paralyzes the strong, keeps the gifted small, and blinds the dreamer to the possibilities right in front of them. The tragedy of fear is that most of what we fear never even happens. Yet people let imagined dangers stop them from chasing real opportunities. Fear builds walls around your future, but courage tears them down. Destiny will never belong to those who let fear be their master. And then comes procrastination, the silent destroyer. It doesn't tell you, never. It only tells you, later. Later feels harmless. After all, it's not a refusal, it's just a delay. But the danger of delay is that later often turns into never. Tomorrow becomes next week becomes next year, and before long, life has passed you by. Procrastination kills more dreams than failure ever could, because at least failure gives you the chance to learn and try again. Procrastination denies you even that. These three, hesitation, fear, and procrastination, work together to keep you stuck. One makes you pause, one makes you doubt, and one makes you wait. And while you are standing still, the world keeps moving. Time doesn't stop to let you catch up. Opportunities don't stay open forever. The moment you waste today is the moment you can never reclaim. The good news is you don't have to let them win. The antidote to hesitation is action. Even a small step forward is enough to break the grip of doubt. The cure for fear is courage, not the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward in spite of it. And the remedy for procrastination is discipline, the choice to do what needs to be done now, not later. These three virtues, action, courage, and discipline, are the protectors of destiny. They build momentum, strengthen character, and open doors that hesitation, fear, and procrastination would have kept locked. Think of history's achievers. They were not people without fear. They were people who acted anyway. They didn't hesitate forever. They made decisions, sometimes imperfect ones, but decisions nonetheless. They didn't wait for a perfect tomorrow. They started with today. That's how dreams are turned into reality, not through waiting, not through hiding, but through moving forward boldly, even when the outcome isn't certain. The truth is, destiny doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It comes to those who step out when the road is unclear, who try when others are still debating, who act when others are still planning. Life favors the doer, not the dreamer. You don't have to eliminate all fear, silence every doubt, or find the perfect time. You simply need to decide, act, and keep moving. So guard your destiny carefully. Don't let hesitation steal your courage. Don't let fear silence your potential. Don't let procrastination waste your time. Each day is an opportunity to advance your purpose, to take one more step toward the life you've imagined. And each day you give in to these thieves, you surrender a piece of that future. Hesitation, fear, and procrastination may look small in the moment, but over time they cost you everything. Choose courage, choose action, choose discipline. Protect your destiny because it belongs to you. And no thief has the right to take it unless you let them. A small act today is more powerful than 1,000 plans tomorrow. Plans are important. They give direction, they provide vision, and they prepare the mind for what's possible. But plans without action are nothing more than promises you make to yourself and never keep. Tomorrow always sounds like a better time to begin, but tomorrow is the most dangerous word in the language of success. Tomorrow delays, tomorrow excuses, tomorrow kills momentum. What matters is today, because today is where action lives, and action is where dreams take root. You can spend weeks, months, even years drawing up perfect strategies. You can imagine every detail, map every step, and build the grandest vision in your mind. But the smallest step taken today is worth more than all of those plans combined. Why? Because action creates reality. A single phone call can open a door. A single workout can begin a healthier life. A single page written can start a book. A single dollar saved can begin wealth. A plan is theory, an act is transformation. We often overestimate the importance of big moves and underestimate the power of small ones. People wait until they can make a giant leap, forgetting that most success is built on tiny, consistent steps. You don't have to run the marathon today. Just put on your shoes and walk. You don't have to build the empire today. Just start with one customer, one sale, one effort. Small acts may not seem impressive in the moment, but they stack up, and their compound effect turns ordinary days into extraordinary results. The reason a small act today is so powerful is because it shifts you from planning mode to doing mode. It changes your identity from someone who wishes to someone who acts. And once you act, you create momentum. Momentum is invisible, but it's real. It makes the next step easier, the next choice simpler, the next action more natural. Without that first step, momentum never comes, and you remain stuck in the cycle of planning and postponing. The danger with 1,000 plans tomorrow is that tomorrow never arrives. Tomorrow becomes the hiding place for people afraid to start. I'll begin when I have more money. I'll start when I have more time. I'll act when the circumstances are perfect. But perfect conditions don't exist. Waiting for them is just another way of saying, I'm not ready to commit. The truth is, readiness comes after action, not before it. You get ready by starting, not by waiting. Look at the difference between two people. One spends years designing the perfect business plan, researching and preparing. Another begins with a simple idea, takes one step, makes one sale, learns from mistakes, and keeps moving. After 5 years, the planner is still perfecting the blueprint, while the doer has built something real. The doer's success didn't come from knowing everything in advance. It came from doing something when others were still waiting. Small acts today also build confidence. Confidence doesn't come from reading about success. It comes from experiencing it. When you act, even in small ways, you prove to yourself that you are capable. That proof is powerful. It becomes the fuel that drives you forward. And once you start to believe in your ability to take action, no plan, no matter how big, feels impossible anymore. Think about it. If you write 1 page today, in a year you'll have a book. If you save a small amount today, in a few years you'll have wealth. If you exercise a few minutes today, in time you'll transform your health. It's not the size of today's act that matters. It's the fact that it was done. Tiny actions repeated consistently become unstoppable. So don't get caught in the trap of tomorrow. Don't bury your dreams under piles of plans waiting for the right time. The right time is today. The power is in now. Start small, but start. Because the truth is, a single action today can change the trajectory of your life, while 1,000 plans left for tomorrow will do nothing but fade into regret. A small act today is not small at all. It's the spark that lights the fire of achievement. Without it, the fire never begins. With it, you can ignite a future brighter than you imagine.